Olga, hello. Thank you so much for inviting us and allocating your time for the interview. Thank you so much. If you can tell us a little bit about the project, about the developer, because this is a very interesting new location-wise and interesting project because of famous developers.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us more. It's about the project.
How much time do I have? I can talk a lot about it, but of course, thank you so much for coming. We literally just opened a week ago, so we're doing our
brand new,
fresh, the first price list, the very first opportunity for B&B brokers, obviously like you. So we are in the very initial stages in here. The Developers Related Group, one thing that Related Group is known for, they are always the first to start the trend, right? Or the first in the neighborhood and discovering the neighborhood. And as we know, Miami urban core, it consists of Brickell, downtown, and Edgewater, right? And Brickell kind of had its moment. The prices went up in Brickell, and now downtown is having its moment. And we're going to be located right on Biscayne in the area that's called Arts and Entertainment District, which is a beautiful cultural hub of Miami because we have the Adrian Art Center right next door. We have Opera House, Museum District with Perez Art Museum. By the way, named after the developer Related Group, Jorge Perez. He is the developer here, but also very big art collector. So this building will have museum quality art pieces throughout, which is I think very important. So we are on Biscayne, that part of this billionaire row movement, I want to call it, because we have many famous buildings that were just built in the last cycle, like 1000 Museum, David Beckham lives there, Waldorf Astoria is going to be the tallest south of New York.
I live very close to the stadium which he built too. So
you know him. So it's an exciting new neighborhood. Related purchased this lot. I mean, they're visionaries. They purchased it over 10 years ago. So definitely that translates into the pricing because our pricing is very, very aggressive, especially if this is the first price list, just because the money they paid for this lot 10 years ago
was much less.
Exactly, compared to what's happening
the
now.
lot, the value of the land increasing in Miami and South Florida like all the time because influx of people which we have here, and especially after during the last 2 years is incredible. Why it's named Casa Bella?
Okay, so Casa Bella sounds very Italian, right? So it is Italian because it's a beautiful house, right? We are branded by B&B Italia. So B&B Italia, as you may know, it's a very high-end Italian furniture designers. So they work with designers like Piero Lissoni and Zaha Hadid and Mario Bellini. They have a huge portfolio of designers who created collections for them. They also are partners to a lot of global brands, retail brands like Rolex and Bentley. All the flagship stores are designed by them. They've designed a lot of high-end hotels like Bulgari Hotels worldwide, Mandarin Oriental, Aman was designed by them. And in Miami, they have their portfolio of residential high-end buildings like Arte, where Ivanka Trump lives, 1000 Museum again, and Ritz-Carlton, Miami Beach, and the list goes on. So, and B&B Italia is an Italian brand, and I think the name kind of, follow the brand. Everything in the building is going to be European-inspired, Italian-inspired, starting from the ground floor retail restaurant that's going to be Italian high-end dining to a cafe on the pool deck, to all the common areas furnished by B&B Italia. So that's why it's going to be a beautiful house, Casa Bella.
Wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So I think let's take a look at the building itself and talk about the amenities and you already talked about the location, and everybody will be interested about urban core. So can you tell one more time about this? What's going on here in this specific area? Okay,
so like I said, the urban core, we have Brickell, we have downtown and Edgewater. So we're in the downtown area of Miami, in the cultural hub. The importance of this area, first of all, we're going to be completed in 2025, and the area is rapidly changing. Why? Because the city is doing a lot of investment, not just the residentials being built, that's obviously obvious, fueled by demand, but also infrastructure, right? Right next to us is a $800 million investment into the famous bridge, iconic landmark bridge that's going to be Signature Bridge in Miami that has a phenomenal design. And part of that $800 million investment of that landmark, right, it's going to be under that highway system. They're building this beautiful linear parks, a lot of green spaces. This is all next door, right? So that's a 4-year project, which is basically aligns with the completion date for the building. And besides that, we have accessibility to the highway, which traffic gets worse and worse every day here because because of the people moving down here. We're right across from the Omni station, which is the transportation hub
I remember
for public transit.
I used it before. I used to live in Edgewater, and we will take it all the way like to the metro and then to UM. I mean, transportation-wise, I mean, we already have had this infrastructure, but with more people coming in.
Yes.
And I mean, we need it. And Brightline station, I mean,
Brightline is going to be 10 minutes away, and that Brightline train is going to take you eventually to Orlando. I mean, it already goes to West Palm Beach, Orlando. They're going to have a stop in Aventura. And I think, I don't know what other stops. I think Tampa, they plan for Tampa as well
and
eventually.
Jacksonville too, up
yes.
north.
I think it's amazing because obviously a lot of people come here and they want to be connected. So I think from accessibility standpoint and the being pedestrian, being in the city, you know, Miami is not a very pedestrian friendly city, which people kind of expected coming from large cities. And you get here, you're like, you can't go anywhere without a car. But this neighborhood is becoming the neighborhood where you can actually walk everywhere. You have retail. We have the World Center, Herman World Center that's building. They have acres of land right in the city. I Googled it. It's 11 minutes walking from us. And they're going to have this amazing dining and shopping promenade. So you have so many options, cultural hubs, dining, different shopping options. So you're literally in the middle of everything, the exciting part of Miami. Exactly.
All infrastructure is already in place and being added. So a lot of new amazing things coming.
And I should say we're 10 minutes to the beach. I mean, we should not forget the beach. Literally straight shot to Miami Beach, about 10 minutes or maybe even less.
Awesome. Okay, let's go take a look at the building itself.
Sounds good.
Tell us about the building and amenities, how many units. I mean, we're super interested to learn more about it.
Absolutely. So Casa Bella, even though it's a high rise, it's 56 stories, it's going to be a boutique, luxury, exclusive building. Why boutique? Because it's 306 units only. 28 of them are going to be penthouses. Most of the units are going to be larger. We do have 1 bedrooms, 2, 3, and 4, but they tend to be a little bit larger. I have maximum 7 units per floor, which is amazing because I don't have any hallways here. So there are 2 private elevators per unit, opening up into your private elevator lobby. So I think it's super important for the luxury building. So we have units starting on the 2nd floor. The 1st floor is going to be all retail. And like I said, we're going to have beautiful Italian restaurant on the ground floor. And then the units will go to the 47th floor, regular floor plans. And then we have 9 floors of the penthouses.
From 47, I mean.
From 48 through the 57.
57. And how many, so on these levels, how many units will be per floor?
The penthouse levels are going to vary. We haven't released them yet. We don't have the floor plans yet. I know up to 4 units per floor, but there will be larger penthouses, probably 2 or 3 units per floor. We do have a lot of amenities in the building. One thing you should know about the developer, and they've built over 100,000 condos here in South Florida, that they do amazing job with amenities, and always you walk into like a resort, right? And we do have a lot of buildings from their portfolio to show here in Edgewater. We have about 20,000 square feet of amenities indoor. They're going to be located on the 10th and 11th floor. And we have 2 pool decks. One is going to be on the 11th floor, which is our beautiful outdoor deck with food and beverage here. So we'll have a cafe and a full bar. And then on the 57th floor, we're going to have a rooftop with additional pool, lounge areas, sitting areas, and there will be observatory deck with a state-of-the-art telescope, which is kind of a fun thing.
With telescope?
Yes, state-of-the-art telescope that you're going to be able to watch the stars and I guess people in the cruise ships. It's a fun thing. It will be, like an observation deck that nobody will have a view like we have. We are literally 2 blocks from the water. We're not on the water, but the beauty of this building is that you are surrounded by low rises around you. On the front, you're going to have a historic building, the little white building, which that has to be preserved. On the other side, which is the south side, we have our performing arts center and opera house. Also, those are not going anywhere. There's no lots anywhere. That south view is super protected, and it's all about the view. This building, I have the drone images that we're happy to share with the clients, and they're stunning, really stunning views.
Amazing. And so, as far as amenities, 2 pool decks, and what about general like lounges and pool and gym? I mean,
I'll tell you. I mean, the list goes on. Starting from let's say health and wellness. We have a huge health and wellness element here. We have rooms for spinning and Pilates and yoga and meditation, and then we have a luxurious spa with a steam and sauna. They're separate for men and women. Then we have a beauty salon. It's not going to be staffed, fully staffed, right? But you can bring your own person who does your makeup and nails and all of that, so you'll have the space to do that. And then another fun thing they did, we have a 2-story, it's business lounge, almost like a co-working space. So we're going to have multiple conference rooms, so people, it's a lot of business traveler in here. Exactly, and all the amenities are, of course, included for the residents, and the HOA fee here is 80 cents per square foot, which is very reasonable. Good. And then on top of that, we do have amenities for kids, like playroom for kids. There's room for teenagers. We have wine room with the lockers, multiple lounge areas and party rooms. So there
List goes on and on.
I ask the clients, have you ever been to a related building before? And if they have, I almost skip this part because they know what to expect. The amenities are always top notch and really a feel of the resort.
And we will show you some of the previous projects we've related. Like you can just follow the link below, so you can take a look at the completed projects, and they're truly amazing.
I do recommend to look at One Paradiso because it was also designed by Piero Lissoni, and Piero Lissoni is an interior designer here. He's also creative director of B&B Italia. So I think that will be a very close match to our building as far as the amenity design.
This is the building in Edgewater.
That's a building in Edgewater, which is on the 31st.
I have a few friends who live there, and the amenities over there is so cool, and the views. And
you definitely overwhelmed with amenities there.
Yep.
And from the price standpoint, like I said, it's a first price list we just launched, so we're definitely very aggressively priced. I have a few smaller units. I have a few.
The best time to buy.
Best time to buy. I would say the best time to buy. Not only that, we are taking reservations, and for those people who don't know how reservation works, it is a fully refundable deposit. You basically reserve your unit at the price of today with 10% deposit. We are getting contracts in April. By the time April comes around, we're going to have so many renderings and the actual kitchen build out and the bathroom build out, so we'll have more options, more things to show the client. And then they basically make a decision then, right, whether they want to move forward or not. But at that point, I'm sure they will, because there'll be a lot of things to see, and it will be very exciting.
So right now it's 10%.
10%
until April.
Until April.
You reserve your unit. You transfer it to, I guess, your escrow account.
It's all held in escrow.
Escrow, and then
10% is going to be in contract. That's the next step. And the following step is going to be in groundbreaking, which we expect because the building is going to be right here, so we have to demolish the sales gallery. Right, so it's going to be before the end of the year. We're gonna do the demolition, and the groundbreaking is going to be end of next year. So that's when we expect additional 10%, and then 10% is going to be at top off, and the 2024 and 60% at closing. So it's 40-60, but that 40 spread out between a few years. So you have your, you take your time and putting that money in.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And the starting prices, the most important part. We do start at $620 per square foot. I won't get into all of the floor plans, but I can tell you 1-bedrooms are starting from 600s, 2-bedrooms from 800s, and the 3-bedroom, which is a larger unit, 2,000 square feet, from 1.5. Still amazing pricing. I think moving forward, you have to think this neighborhood is just changing day by day, and it's going to be an amazing place to live.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A few more questions what about parking? So do we need, is it valet?
You have a sign on valet depending on the unit. If it's a 1-bedroom, you get valet. The rest of the units will get assigned parking. Depends on the size, 1 to 2 parking spaces assigned. And we do have a large parking garage. It is a 10-story structure, so we have plenty of parking for everybody. It is only residences. This is not a condo hotel or a condo component. We do have a flexible rental policy though for those second home buyers. You can rent up to.
About that.
Yeah, that's very important because it's 30 days minimum, up to 6 times a year. And because we do have that food and beverage on the deck, I feel like, it's almost like a feeling of being in the hotel and having that flexibility. A lot of people would probably love to have this as a second home.
Exactly. Yeah. In today's reality, I think many people wants to be, it's flexibility, it's all about that. You want to be able to live somewhere else.
Exactly.
Here we have so many people from different countries, and they doing businesses in Asia, in Europe, and they want to be able to travel, and then while they're traveling, they can lease it out. And
absolutely.
From investment standpoint, and even from living perspective, it's good. We like flexibility. All new recent buildings too, and especially like we've related. I mean, I like that there is flexibility options.
Yeah.
You're not stuck and you can't rent it, for example. But life changes, so you might need larger property, like your family grow. Yeah. But you don't want to sell, so you can rent it.
You can always rent it. And I do want to say that because the units are larger, so it won't be a transient building. You know, when you think like, you know, flexible rental policy, sometimes people get a wrong idea that it's going to be very transient building. Because most of my units are going to be larger and more expensive. You know, the starting price points, obviously, for some lines, they're, you know, smaller, right? So it will be an exclusive building, very luxurious building with just that flexibility, right? And there's a huge demand for that type of rental and for that type of building because, as you know, there's a low inventory. I mean, the whole urban core is now going through a low inventory, and not just for sale, also for rent. So, and that's not going to change in the next 4 years because there's nothing being delivered in the next 4 years. We're just starting our next kind of, I say, construction boom. But on Biscayne, we're the only building, so we really have no comparison, no competition. I mean, this is it. This is the one.
Awesome. Yeah. Let's look at the building from the front.
Yes.
Let's go and talk about
it's a beautiful building to look at.
Units.
So it is actually, I do want to mention that it is designed by Arquitectonica, which is a legendary architect here. They've done pretty much the whole skyline of Brickell. You can walk a block without seeing an Arquitectonica building.
Everywhere.
A performing arts center was designed by them, by the way, right next door. So you do have the gorgeous design with a wavy balcony, which is, you know, very, very nice. And looking at the building from this perspective, again, you have your retail on the first floor, then the units will start on the second floor and go up to 47 for regular floor plans, and then we have penthouses after that. I do want to point out, like I said, 7 units per floor. Most of them will have 6 or 4 units per floor. All of the units are either flow through, so this middle part, they're flow through, or they're corners, so that you don't have hallways to walk, which is very, very important. These floors are amenity floors, 10 and 11, and 11 floor pool deck. We do have 20,000 square feet of amenities indoor, plus entire pool deck, which is huge, and then additional amenity on the rooftop, which is our pool and observation deck. So you have plenty of things to enjoy in this building, and again, pricing are starting from 600s.
Awesome. This is amazing. Let us know if you have any questions. We will post more details in the link with the information about this project. And any questions you have, reach out to us. And Olga, thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.
Fantastic. You're very knowledgeable, and about the area, and it's very important to have somebody who will tell you what's going to happen in this area, because when you invest into not only in today's but in the future too. And what's happening in Miami, and specifically here, it's going to change the whole story.
With all the people that are moving down to Miami, you know, we have to adapt. Michelin Guide is already coming to us, so we're going to get our Michelin rated restaurant, which, you know, it puts us on a different map at that point. You know, I go to New York just to eat, so imagine we're going to have all these restaurants here now that Michelin rated. I mean, they're building this iconic bridge. We're becoming, you know, an international city on a different level, right? So we've always been a beautiful city, but people came for the beach. Now people come for the culture, to eat, you know, to shop, and obviously to live
and enjoy.
It's
the weather. We have everything we need, to live as a great and good life as humans.
Exactly.
We looking at this project also from an investment standpoint. Also, I mean, you can buy it if you want to live here, but investment-wise, which units will you suggest and recommend to go for?
Right. I always say that unique floor plans for investment. Meaning, by unique, I mean the number of floor plans, the less in the building. So with a repetitive floor plan, you know, you can get into many units, right? I do have a couple lines that are, you know, very unique. I have a line that starts at 600,000. It's a 1-bedroom, 711 square feet. And if there are only 10 like that in the whole building, it is the smallest, it is the least expensive. I still have just a few left, so these are kind of...
It will be gone soon.
They're going to be gone very soon.
Tell us about tonight once.
And then I have another 1-bedroom that's a large 1-bedroom, and believe me or not, there's those people who want a 1-bedroom. It's 1 bedroom plus den. There are only 9 units, actually 8 units like that They're 1,600 square feet. Very, very good price per square foot. It's starting at $630 per square foot. The price point is like $990 and up. But it's just a beautiful big unit with a huge living room. There's only 8 of them in the entire building. I think that's another very, very good investment option. And then I have 2 bedrooms that are facing south, corner units, and they're starting at $830,000 for about 1,300 square feet. I really love that corner because you're facing south, so you capture the water, you capture that beautiful Biscayne Boulevard with all the buildings coming up. You have the downtown view and also west exposure. So that one of my favorite 2-bedroom lines, and the price is also the least expensive in the buildings, and very, very good price per square foot, about $620 per square foot. And then of course, depending on people's budget, I mean, I think 3 bedrooms is another amazing option because it's only one line of 3 bedrooms in the whole building. And you know, we're selling a lot of those, and it's a quarter unit, but those are starting at $1.5 million. So it depends what budget people, how much people want to spend. But I would definitely target lines that maybe only one line or only a certain number of units in the building. But then if you want to live in the building, use it as a second home, you look at it from a different standpoint. Right? But for investment, I recommend the line of 7, there's line of 6, a 1 and a 2, and those, you know, obviously hard to remember without coming here, but I'm happy to, you know, come and I'll show you exactly what I mean.
And 3 bedrooms, if you buy to live, I mean, again, starting at 1.5, but you put only 10% deposit, and you reserve it, check the view, and I mean, they will increase in value too. So
Absolutely.
3 bedrooms, I mean, more space in today's reality is better because people can do like put an office inside their like apartment pretty much, or if you have kids or if your family is growing. I mean, before I looked at like 3 bedrooms, why do you need 3 bedrooms? Now, like, yes, you need more.
With kids, you definitely need more.
Exactly.
Yes, I think one thing to keep in mind for this neighborhood, the demographic is changing a lot. This whole neighborhood used to appeal to a lot of, I want to say, single people and maybe young couples. Now, we do have one of the best schools in New York, Avenues, that's opening near the Design District, which is 10 minutes away. So there's schools coming to the area now. So now there are families coming to the area. It's becoming very, very residential. And I think the 3 bedroom, there's always demand for 3 bedrooms, you know, in any building. I feel like in the last cycle, they didn't build enough of the larger units.
Plus, when more schools will come to downtown, to Edgewater, then, I mean, it's already story. I mean, these apartments will be in demand. I always look at the future when you invest, when you buy for yourself, so to make an intelligent decision.
Yes, absolutely.
Monica, thank you so much for your time.
It's my pleasure.
Looking forward to work with you.
Same here.
Let's sell and buy this project because it will be unique and exclusive.
Absolutely.